big week this week, interesting week, Semana Santa, or Holy Week. So we've been getting a bunch of questions about this topic, and we just wanted to come out with a video that would be able to analyze the various angles that go into interpreting why do we do what we do. So the most popular thing that you're going to hear initially within Cuban Lucumí Santeria is, oh, it's Semana Santa, please cover your santos in a white cloth and don't attend to them for a week. Because the same way Jesus Christ was murdered and covered in a white cloth, or the Shroud of Turin, we cover our Orishas and don't attend to them out of respect because this is the week God died, right? Once again, Jesus was an amazing man. I love him. I think he was great. He was great friends with Orumila. But these are concepts that are obviously not innately Yoruba. These are adaptations spiritually due to syncretization that occurred between Yoruba IFA and, Spaniard Catholicism, right? Now, a lot of people like to say, hey, in my lineage, we do this. Well, here's the thing, guys, is everybody's lineage is IFA and Orumila. So if it's not within Orumila's literature, it's not supposed to be in your lineage. Now, there are allegories. There are things we might do different. Maybe you guys put the candle on the left and it's white, and we put the candle on the red or on the right and it's red. At the end of the day, there's a candle. So that's where lineage can take over, or Orisun, right, as it's known. But things such as this really out of place at this point because we're no longer slaves. And it's actually something I highly don't recommend. And we're going to get into the various patakis now about why not. Another thing is, oh, it's Semana Santa, or it's, Good Friday. I don't even know how you say that in Spanish anymore. Let's all do brujeria to each other because God died, Rebelo sign. And obviously, at the end of the day, if you're going to do negativity with Osaying, it doesn't matter if you do it on Easter Sunday, Christmas, New Year. There's going to be negative repercussions both ways. So that's another thing that really is just, a misinterpretation at best. But where does this concept come from? Originally, this concept was actually derived from Ifa scripture in the sense of the concept, not so much the practicality of what we're doing. And the Odu of Ofun Ika, or Ofun Kamalaife, was where the hunters and the apes lived side by side in the jungle. And what occurred is the hunters would hunt the apes for meat, to eat them. This is one of the Odus where people first started consuming primates. And it was an ongoing battle. This was a clash, the apes would kill a couple hunters, the hunters would kill apes. It was just a back and forth thing. It was what it was. But the apes had spiritual practices, and there was a sacred week that they would incorporate of peace and prayer and process that they wanted respected, being that they would also not attack any of the hunters, as long as they weren't attacked, of course. And Olodumare sanctioned this pact. But one day, a hunter named Oshosi, right, was going through the jungle, and he saw the apes prostrated in prayer, kneeling, right? And Oshosi, being immature and overly ambitious, thought he couldn't let the opportunity go, and he killed one. This started a huge war, right? And a huge uproar. And he was called in front of Olodumare for breaking the truce, and he was punished for it. And his punishment was that he could not interact with his wife on an intimate level that week. Some people would say that even the apes that he killed at the moment were in an intimate act when he basically killed them. And this is seen as completely inhumane. The Yorubas have a concept that when two animals are intimate or fornicating, they are to be left alone. Whether it's deer, whether it's cockroaches, whether it's lizards, You do not interrupt people trying to procreate and propagate their species and race. So Ochosi broke that pact, and because of it, he became impotent that 1 week of the year to not have the testosterone and virility to want to even go out and hunt. You could even take from that why they don't eat meat on Good Friday, because the hunters couldn't hunt. Now, mind you, I do believe that IFA is the root spirituality. This has been confirmed by some of my god kids who have a degree, a doctorate in theology from Harvard. But it is interesting, how certain things were extracted from us, taken into a new context, and then regurgitated upon us to practice it in a way so foreign from our own. This is where Semana Santa was born, but it's not Semana Santa in the Catholic sense. It just says that within IFA, there needs to be a rest period, right? Each spiritual practitioner, whether they're a professional or simply a devotee, this applies more to the professionals. Everybody needs a vacation. There has to be a week where, we take it easy. It's not that we don't tend to our Orishas. That's not the theme or idea that this story is trying to express, is that everybody needs to take a break. I'll be frank with you, when people are actually, sacrificing and, doing all these things, the last thing I want to see is a chicken expire, after a while. So, that's basically what Ofun Kamala is really trying to relate with that story of Semana Santa when Ochosi broke the pact and was punished because of it. That's why if you look in the book, Ofun Kamala says you can't be intimate with your partner on Thursday. Because they said when Ochosi broke the pact was on Thursday, which if I recall, in Catholicism, that was the night that Jesus was betrayed. The night before, he was slaughtered the next day. So it's just interesting, the correlations. Maybe they got it from us, right? There is another Odu known as Babao Yakum Meji, which says why the Orishas should not be covered in white cloth, other than very few exceptions, such as Orishas like Obatala or Odudua. And the reason being is because in the Odu Babao Yakum Meji was where the three cloths were consulted by the king to see if they could save his prince. And when the divination was done, Babao Yakum Meji was revealed, where the white cloth assured that he could save the prince and death would not descend upon him. The black cloth didn't say anything, and the red cloth vehemently said, hey, no, he's gonna die. I don't want to take on this job or work, But the white cloth took compensation, and the black cloth accompanied him, even though, he was just a tag-along, and the prince died. So the king called them all back, and he said, I want these two arrested, the black and the white cloth. And he looked at the white cloth and said, you lied to me. You knew my son was going to die, but you still took my money. So being that his blood is on your hands, your colored cloth will always accompany a dead body. That's why people are buried in white. The black cloth was seen as a coward, and even though he didn't say yes or no, he was locked away for the rest of his life to deal with his uncertainty. That's why we, the people in purgatory or limbo, this plane of the living, we wear black when somebody dies, because we're still here, we're still incarcerated by this body. And the red cloth was set free to never die with anyone or be buried. So if we interpret this, the white cloth is for dead bodies, right? Or newly born bodies, right? With babies. But that's a different concept in a different sign. But the reason the white cloth is utilized is to symbolize death, but our Orishas are not dead. Put it this way, even in the Tutu process, when an Orisha's owner dies, we don't cover it in white cloth out of nowhere. So this is completely out of context, right? And that's why Orishas such as Obatala and Odua are covered in white cloth, because they are seen as the birth and the death, right? But this is perpetual, where Odua is seen as, basically our ancestral Egun. Obatala is the owner of the skeletal system. You can see the correlations there. But it's not ideal to, or ever been stipulated to cover others in this white cloth per se. At the end of the day, we're going to do whatever we want to do. We're all adults here, right? The most important thing is that we have all of the information necessary to make the right decisions and teach our godchildren and the people coming after us what's best, right? Or what's practical, better said. So, as always, guys, Joseph IFA, Botanica Candles and More, Our Roots Podcast, just sharing a little bit of knowledge.